This is Kabbalah for today, a practical guide to traditional Jewish mysticism designed to help you along your personal spiritual journey. In our exploration of the Sefirot, the tree of life, we now move on to the Sefirah of Hod, which I will show you right here. Hod is representing majesty or splendor. Now, when we talked last time about the Sefirah of Netzach, which meant victory or endurance, represented by Moses, a kind of power that leads one in this world towards accomplishments, always, of course, for the sake of heaven, for the sake of God. The Sefirah of Hod represents instead a different kind of power, spiritual power, represented by Aaron, who is the first high priest. Aaron represents a kind of spiritual power that becomes in a person splendor or majesty, as God's light is reflected through that person. Now, we're told in the Torah that the Jewish people specifically, but I believe that all people who are devoted to God are lights to the nations. We are to be a light to the nations. We are to be reflecting the beauty and majesty of God in everything that we do. So how do we become bearers of this light? How do we become majestic and splendid in the same way that Aaron, the spiritual leader of the Jewish people, was splendid? I believe that it is through a variety of means taught to us by our Kabbalistic tradition. We are to engage in prayer and meditation. Prayer and meditation purify us, connect us with God, and help us to understand the depths of ourselves. We are also to engage ourselves in deeds of loving kindness. We are to be charitable and warm and hospitable. We are also to observe the mitzvot. We are to follow the teachings of the Torah, of the Jewish law. And we are to study. It is particularly to the idea of study that I want to address this particular video. There are many opportunities in the world today to undertake the study of Judaism, whether we're talking about traditional Judaism or the more mystical aspects of Judaism known as Kabbalah. We are fortunately blessed with many, many wonderful books. Synagogues have educational programs. Sometimes colleges have educational programs. Communities may have community educational programs focused on this. There are also many great online resources through which you can learn about Judaism. My husband and I co-direct esynagogue.org, which is devoted to online Jewish education. Not only do we have many, many videos that you can learn from, we also have an Introduction to Judaism program, which some people use simply to learn, others as the educational part of a conversion process, geared particularly for those who live far away from a synagogue. We also have a para-rabbinic program if you want to become, in a sense, a lay rabbi and lead a community. We have the means to do that. I would also suggest that you engage in personal Torah study, personal Bible study. You may wish to do as I do, and each day before I begin my meditation, I either read a psalm or part of a psalm or a selection from the week's Torah portion or Parsha, and use that as a focus of my day and my meditation. I will post on my website a list of the Torah readings for each week, along with one of my personal favorite psalms for each week. So as you begin your meditation on Hod, ask that the light of God, the illuminating presence of God's love be with you and fill you, and devote yourself to good deeds of kindness, to mitzvot, to prayer, to meditation, and above all, to study. God's joy, blessings, and peace be with you always.